Good morning. Oops, hang on. I just got to fix something. Oop. Oh, there we go. I can actually start now. It's always one for interruptions in the morning. Good morning. It's Monday, and it means it's time for another Monday morning map build. So here I am in Clip Studio Paint. I have opened one of my previous adventure maps that I've built. Because I'm building a endless dungeon, so I have to build lots and lots of these. I think they're 10 by 10 grid squares map cards. Because the whole idea is that you'll put lots of these map cards together to build a dungeon. And I thought I would make another map card for the surface building. As you can see, this is an entrance just here. So what I'm going to do is like a different designed entrance than this one. So, but I'm going to use this one as a template because I needed to know where to put the doors. I couldn't remember where to put them. So first thing I need to do is set up my grid so everything snaps into place, and my folders. Okay, so grid. Oop, that's too small. So let's go up here to view. And then we go to grid ruler bar settings. We need to change this from 100 to 180 because that's the grid size that I use, and take this down to 1. So there's only 1 segment. Okay. There we go. Let's go to view. Oh, let's keep it at so 100%. So this is how it would look. As you can see, it looks pretty cool. But let us, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to hide this layer. I'm going to create some folders, because we need some folders. So we've got our features. We then have our walls. We then have our floor. And we have our ground. We are actually going to have ground, because as you can see in this one, we've got the outside, we've got a path coming into the building, so we need to put that in, and that'll be in our ground layer. So let's get rid of that. I'm just going to make a layer. I'm going to fill it with, let's make this a slightly gray. There we go, so it's not so hard on the eyes. Go fill. There we go. Excellent. So that is in our ground layer. Well, actually, we'll just put it down here because that's just hiding this background. Okay, so let's have a think about what we're going to put in here. Now, the art assets that I'm using for this map card, I'm pretty certain is the Dungeon Map Tailz 6-pack. Let's have a look at the artwork. Floor. Yep, this is the pack that we're using. Okay, so I need to think about, first things first, I need to put in where the doorways are going to be. So we need to grab our walls. And our doorways. Where is it? This one? Cornerstones and doorways. Okay, these are the tiles that we need. So I'm just going to turn back on. Actually, I'll make this layer a little transparent. There we go. Just so enough so I can see where, you know, the doorways and stuff are. So we need a doorway there, which is, where is it? Down a bit. There we go. There it is. Now, this is a good time for me to start talking about how Clip Studio works. Clip Studio is a great program for drawing. It's fantastic for drawing, and it's good for making adventure maps as well. Using map tiles, you don't need all the functionality of Clip Studio Paint. So you don't need all the drawing functionality, because you're putting down ready-made art assets. So if I just slide over here, and pretty much if you know how to navigate Windows, you know how to navigate, you know, Clip Studio Paint. You know that there's bars on the bottom and there's bars on the side to scroll, you know, around your map. You can hold down your shift key, which will turn your mouse into a little hand, and you can move around just like so. You can I'm trying to remember where it is. Yeah, but that's the basic movement. So, you know, just for moving around the canvas is pretty much just hold down shift, click and drag will move it around. If you use your mouse wheel, so zooming in and out is with the mouse wheel, or you can just go view. So there's 100%, 200%. So 200%, you're zooming in. View, 100%, you know, you're at what you'll actually see when you're playing. I like to do a lot of map building in, if you go to, where is it? Fit to screen. There we go. So I like to do a lot of map building like this, especially if I'm just blocking out the map, like the basic form and design of the map. I like to do it in this sort of view, because it sort of gives me an idea of everything, you know, the overview of where everything's going to be. I can see I'm going to have doors here, so let me just grab another door. And we've got to put it here. That's where it goes. And then we've got another door up the top. Goes in there. Let's just put it up there. And then we need another one. And it's got to go, whoops. I think I accidentally scaled that. So it goes, oh, there, I did accidentally scale it, so let's delete it and pop another one back in. And then let's put it up there. There we go. And then I need doors over this side. They are these ones. So there's going to be a door there. So I probably have to, depending how I set this up, I may need to change how these look. Because if you look at the map underneath, you can see that this one's using a cornerstone here and then a wall here. So I may need to change this one. But for the moment, it's good. This is just marking out where the doorways to connecting map cards will go. Okay, so that's in place, but I have these in the wrong folder. To move out art assets, once you plonk them into the folder, because it'll create a layer per art asset. Say that 10 times fast. So you just select one, hold down shift, select the last one in the list, and it'll select everything in between them, and then just drag it to my walls folder. Now this is this is something important when you're using Clip Studio Paint. One thing Clip Studio Paint doesn't like you doing compared to other graphics programs. So for example, if you're using GIMP or if you're using Photoshop, they open files a little bit differently. In Photoshop, if you were to grab an art asset or a file and just drop it onto your canvas, the program thinks you want to open that image as a layer inside this image that you've already got open. Clip Studio works a little bit differently. If you try and do that, it will actually open it in a different folder. I mean, as a different image. See how I've got two images? I've got two little tabs up the top here. That's because Clip Studio thinks whenever you drag something onto the program as a whole, the whole thing, it thinks you want to open it as an image, as a standalone image. But so that's why it opened it as a individual image for you to look at. Now we want to put it into this image. So to do that with Clip Studio Paint a little bit differently, I think it's kind of good that it does this. But if you're so used to just dragging and dropping straight into the canvas, like in Photoshop or GIMP, can be a little bit different. Clip Studio wants to know where it's going to go in your layers palette. So for example, if I was adding this doorway in, I'd click, drag it, drag over the layers palette. See how there's a little red line? It's basically asking me, where do you want to put it? Do you want to put it in this folder? Do you want to put it between these two images? Do you want to put it between these two folders? Or do you want to put it down the bottom here? You know, so if I let go there, it's going to put it in that position. So yeah, Clip Studio's a little bit different that way for dragging and dropping in art assets when you want to open it in an image you've already got opened. So you've just got to remember that. I kind of like it because I like being able to drop in the art assets in the position, in the layer order, in the folder that I want it to be in. Because if you were in, say, Photoshop, and let's just say I had this layer selected, if you grab something, you grab that, drag it in, it will put it above what you currently have selected. That's cool, and that's good, if you know that's how the program works. But sometimes it's good to have things that work slightly a little bit differently. But that's it's personal choice. I personally I kind of wish both programs did the same thing. I wish that you could do that in Photoshop. You probably can, but I also wish that Clip Studio Paint would allow you to just drag and drop straight onto the canvas. That's just my personal preference. But okay, the next thing you're going to need to know how to do. Whoops. There's my art assets. There they are. So let's go back up to the walls. Here we go. The next thing you need to know how to do is to move art assets once you've placed them on the canvas. So here is a section of wall. This is a corner. Now there are two ways you can do it. And it's using each of these little buttons on this taskbar, on this toolbar up the side here. This one here is called Operation. This one beside it is called Move Layer. Operation is good because you can move stuff with it. So for example, moving stuff around, but you end up with all of these little control options here. These little handles. Let me just zoom in. So you end up with all of these little control handles, and as you mouse over them, they pretty much are self-explanatory how the mouse cursor changes to a little icon. So if I go up to this one up here, it's rotate. It's a handle, allows you to rotate it. If you don't hold down any keys, it's a free rotation. If you hold down Shift, it locks to 45-degree increments. I forget what happens if you do... Yeah. So yeah, holding down Shift will lock it to 45 degrees. Let me just get rid of that, go back, grab it again. If you use any of these other ones, they are actually for scaling and stretching. So if I grab here on this one, it's actually going to scale it dynamically, like so. If you hold down Shift, it's not going to do what I'm thinking it's doing. Or Control or Alt. Alt will change it to scale from the center point of the object. So if, see this little center point? If you grab and scale now, it's scaling from the center of the other side out this way. But if you hold down Alt, it scales from that center point of the actual object. So for example, and you can just switch. All I'm doing is just changing whether I'm holding down Alt or not. And let's just get rid of that because I've made the size all weird. Okay, so that is the operation tool. It has a number of other functions, but generally you're not going to need it for what we're doing. The other tool is the Move Layer tool. I find it a bit safer using the Move Layer tool. The only downside is that the object will not snap to our grid when we're using the Move Layer tool. I was just checking whether snap. Yeah, I've got snap to grid on. So yeah, it won't snap to the grid, which can be a pain, which is why I like to use the operation tool and just move stuff around like so, and you'll see it just snaps in place really easy. In fact, we need this to go up here. Goes in there. Because on this artwork, I'm actually using the... See how these ones, these little corners, they have... Oop, there it is. They have this blocked in sort of corner. They don't just go straight to the edge, right angle. Has like a little 45-degree block in bit. I kind of like those, and I've been using them so far for the corners on these outer wall, surface building areas. But okay, so what are we going to do for our entranceway? Now, I kind of want to do something a little bit funky. I want to kind of have it come in. So I know I need to have the front wall here. So let's put in some front wall. You'll also notice that when a new art asset is dragged into the image, you notice it always plonks it in the middle of the image. So if you zoomed in and you put something into the image, into your canvas, and you can't find it, it's probably sitting in the middle of your image. So let's pop this down here. And I'll put another one over the other side. There it is. There, like that. So we know that we've got a wall coming in here, and I'll do just put that piece there like that. The one over this side. if you're a member of my Patreon, whoops, I think I accidentally dragged around. There we go. Yeah, dragged around my background layer. Let's go back, grab that. One good thing about using the operation tool is that you can just pick up elements that I happen to be under it. See how I'm just clicking on this artwork and I grab that element? Click on this artwork, grab that element. Same with this one. That's kind of cool. It allows you to jump around pieces rather than sort of like going, ooh, which is that the piece that I'm looking for, or is it that the piece? It just means you have to be a little bit careful what you click on, because for example, I accidentally clicked on the background and moved the background around. You can lock layers if you have a layer selected and in the palette, layer palette, you come up and you click on lock layer. So that way I can't move that layer. I accidentally moved the image in the background, so I need to put that back. So, and I'll lock that one. That way I can't move those. Trying to click and drag, can't move them. But these ones I can move because they're not locked. Okie dokie, so we've got that there. Now I like the idea of having a window here and a little bit of a room. So let's do that. So where are our windows? Well, could I put a big one in? Big window. How big are our big windows? I've got a funny feeling. Yeah, they're 2 squares. No, I don't want to have a 2 square window. Just a small window. Here we go. Let's drag it down, and it'll go right there. Now I'm actually going to put this window, take it out of my walls folder, and put it into my floor folder, because it is actually a part of my floor. Because see how it's got part of the floor artwork? Okay, so I'm going to go back to my walls. And we'll make the... Here we go. So we'll have this wall come back around. So we'll just have like a simple little room here. Maybe put another window here. So I'm going to go to my floor. Go back to my small windows and grab this one and pop it in just there. So that way, this could maybe be like a guard's room, but this could be a gate here. So go back up here, and we'll actually put the outer wall sections on. There, and so how's your Monday panning out to be so far? Mine's been a little bit wet. We had a bit of rain, bit of thunderstorm overnight, and has made the place a little bit soggy. So I'm going to put a little end stone cap there. Where is it? I'll use the square brick. And again, it's been dropped up here. So that's where the center of my image is. There we go. So yeah, I'm making this adventure map, or these map cards. They will be something that you'll be able to get in programs like Fantasy Grounds, Roll20, because the whole idea that I'm sort of making them for And actually, I'm going to do something a little bit interesting here. So I'm going to use this four-way intersection. I'm going to put it here. Because we'll have this come back around. We'll have like a little doorway coming through here. Let's grab... So let's put the walls in. See how interesting I can make this. So put the wall there. There. And then a little doorway here. So I'm going to need this one. Yeah, I've been slowly buying up computer hardware to replace my poor old graphics workstation. It's had a hard life. It's not doing so good at the moment. It's been failing. Okay, so here we need to put in these are little passageway. It's actually two walls combined to get it to form a passageway. Just like that. So that's going to come out into our... This could be like a courtyard area. So then maybe make this a dead end, because it could be like a cupboard. Like so. Now, this is going to mean that I'm going to need to change this doorway. How should we change that? I think we will make it into... So I'm going to grab that. I'm going to delete it. I'm then going to put in one of these corner pieces. Just move it over here. That. Then I'm going to put in a cornerstone. So back up into our cornerstones. It is this one. And it can go there. So that's our doorway added in. So we're going to have it come around, go into something like maybe a corridor that comes around it. And maybe have a little or maybe a little room here. So let's put in so let's make a little room. Just like so. That one to close it off. So I've got to, like, this could be, you know, servants' quarters. This could be where, you know, the guards wait out the night. Like this room down here, it could quite literally just be for observation. It's got, you know, two good windows to look out. There we are. That's finished up. That's looking good. I think we'll need another passageway right there. So where's that passageway? There it is. This one. There we go, coming around. So I might want to do something similar, except a little different over this side. So we're going to have an entrance that is about 4 squares wide. So that's about, what is that? 5, 10, 15. So that's a 20-foot wide entrance. That's pretty good. It's a pretty good size entrance. So let's make... Actually, I'll just add in some walls here. So where is it? There we are. So that's going to be a doorway. Come to there. And like so. So that's as far as I'm going to put that, because I'm not certain what to do further on. But let's put a doorway in. So we'll go back to the cornerstones folder. And we find our... Yep, those doors. Well, it's not actually a door. It's actually the surround that goes around the door. Just like that. And I might actually, let's go scroll up. So I'll hide. So I'm going to lock this folder, so that way I can't edit any of the walls now. So I'm going to go into our floor. I'm actually going to put the floor in. So back up to the top. Here we go. So to our floors. And we'll just have regular bit of stonework floor. It'll get interesting when we do when we get here, because I want to have like steps to the dirt. Yeah, if you're a member of my Patreon, you'll be able to get access to this map card, because I uploaded in the afternoon to the art assets browser in the Studio Dungeon on the Studio Wildfire website. So you can actually get access to the raw construction file. So this Clip Studio file, you get access to it. So you can actually, you could actually come back and go, yeah, I don't like this room, and just completely remake it, remodel it. Plus, there's also a WebP of the map card. Like, it is unfinished at the moment. I haven't put any of because what I wanted to do ultimately with these map cards is I want to 3D render the contents of each room. So there'll be tables and barrels and all sorts of knickknacks and bibs and bobs sitting in each room. And I'll render shadows and stuff like that. So it'll look really, really cool. But I haven't done that yet. Oops. Didn't drag it to the layers palette. So that just shows how much I'm used to using Photoshop. I'm trying to train myself to use a variety of different programs. And I'm trying to use Clip Studio Paint a lot more. Because I want to do a lot more drawing. But sometimes reality has other jobs for you. Reality says, you want to draw? No, you need to do this other thing. There's other important things you need done. But anyway, that's another story for another time. But I've got my eye on making some more map tiles. I want to make a set of map tiles that are very what would be a good word? Opulent, like lots of marble, lots of high class marble, Very, you know, very colourful, sparkly marble with gold flourishes. It's rather top notch, yes. So there we go. Now I'm going to put in some steps here. Hopefully, where is it? Steps, 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 steps. There's our staircase. So I just want to have a couple of steps. So we'll just go with these. And we need to use, or is it this one here? Like that. And then some corners. Here we go. And then some more corners. So where is it? Where is the corner? I've lost my corner. It's probably right up here. Here we go. There it is. Yeah, so that's sort of like an entrance, which will get you into the building. But well, actually, it won't get you into the building. It'll get you into these sort of side rooms. So maybe I should change here. I should. So let's lock off this layer or this folder. Unlock this folder. Grab out these pieces. So that's not going to be a dead end. So I am going to need to get rid of that one. Let's go back up to our walls. I'm going to need this one to go there. We're going to need a cornerstone here. Which one is it? It's going to be this one. Cornerstone right there. Then we need a doorway set here and a flat wall there. So since we're in the cornerstones folder, we grab this one and put it back. Because originally I deleted this one. There we go. And then we need a flat section of wall. And grab this piece. That goes right there. So that way you can get out to the other piece, the other map card that's on this side, and you can come down here, get out into here, and go through this corridor to whatever is up there. So that is that sort of wing area. Okay. So what are we going to do up here? Actually, let's figure out what are we going to do over this side. So I want kind of another room like this, but maybe it'll be longer. So let us just put in. So we're going to need this. So this is going to go there. And then we're going to have, so window here, window here. So let's, where are our windows? Small window. Again, I'm going to put this in a different position. So this is going to be part of my floor. So I'm going to put it, because I've got the floor folder locked, I'm going to put it in position and then whoop, drop into my floor folder. Same thing with the window on the other side. So it's going to go there. And then drop it into my floor, so the floor folder can remain locked. Go back to my walls. Okay, so I'll quickly put the outer edge on there. Just like that. And down here. Just like that. So we need to cornerstone it. This one. Just there, like that. That is effectively our entranceway. So when I come and put the grass in and the path, it's going to come in here. So, okay, how are we going to do this? Because I want to have a longer room. So, how about we turn this into sort of a long passageway. Let's try this out. So if we do that, and then similar on the other side. Now I'm not actually going to link this up. So this will be room that you need to get to via whatever card is on this side. So that should be pretty interesting. Which means I can do something interesting again. Let's unlock our floor, get rid of this, and plonk in a large window. It's a big window. One of these. Yep. So a big window like that goes right there. So it's not completely symmetrical, which is always good. Can't have too much symmetry. Although I like symmetry. Let's lock that back off. Get back to our walls. There we go. Now, I want to have this closed. Closed like that. So this will be a single room by itself. Just like that. Okay. So now, how are we going to do this? So I'm thinking we're going to have little rooms or corridors around here. So how could we do here? We could make this just like a courtyard area. Like this whole area is a courtyard. Why don't we try something like that? So let's get rid of that. We will need a cornerstone. That's my sister's dog barking her head off. Put that there. Then we have brick wall. Coming around. So quite literally just does this. Just like so. There we are. So cornerstone here. So that's the doorway. So we'll need to put some steps in just here. So we'll put just some brick wall along there. Just like so. Like that. So this will be sort of like a courtyard area where maybe, you know, that's where people's horses are looked after. And this could be just a viewing room, which also means that we could get rid of this. Back to my floor, back to my small windows, put a window there. This one. Oops, I need to unlock my floor. Grab that and put it in position. So that means, so if we go and fill in this floor while we're here, and just like that. We're just going to fill in this area. I might, I've made some tiles that are 2x2, because these are all 1x1 tiles. Let me just see if I can find it. No, I've made a 1x2 for this area, for this map tile set, like that. Instead of a 2x2, well, that's all right. I can use this. There we go. And then fill it in. And that's that area there. Now, the interesting bit is this area here, because this is where the connection to the nearby map tile or map card comes in. So we'll have a piece of floor there, and then we will use our staircase. So we need this corner. So that will go right there, and then we need two. Which ones? It is not that one, this one. So it goes there. Now, you see how this is overlapping? So we need to fix this. We need to have that over the top of that. There we go. That looks so much better. And then we need this one to go there. But boom, we have a little, you know, steps into the building. Which means we can have, so we can leave that door open. We can do the same thing with this door. And we could have, how could we do this? We could have, okay, so that's, I'm going to jump out of my floor folder. Just lock it for the moment. Back to my walls. could this be a point where I use our funky 10-foot curve? Oops. So that's the curve I want to use. Now the question becomes, because that's going to curve all the way over there, so I can't use it. Can't actually use that one unless I have the curve start back here. So if I get rid of that, grab that, bring it in, have the curve start there. So that way this curves around, comes here. So we could have a passageway here. Or we could have this curve into here. I like the idea of that, so let's get rid of that. This is going to require a 5-foot curve. So we're going to need this one. We bring it up and it goes in right there. And then we'll need a cornerstone and some wall. So where are we? We need some wall sections. Here we go. And another piece. There we go. And we need a little cornerstone just to cap that corner off. So grab that and let's just plonk it there. So that's our doorway there. So again, we're going to need to do the same thing as what we've got here. Although we could do something a little bit funky. We could just make this like a little landing all the way along here. So let's... Well, actually, first let's polish off this area. So, how are we going to do this? So let's use our dead ends. Where are our dead ends? Passageways and dead ends. So we'll use one of these. Put it right there. That could be a cupboard. Now we need to have a curved piece. But I'm going to use a 5-foot curve. Or will I? Will I? We could just have this... actually, maybe we just use our diagonal walls. Like so. And then we put a diagonal little corner. Little diagonal corner goes there, and this will connect into a normal wall. Which are down the bottom here. Just like that. So I have to scroll down a little bit so I can grab this piece. And do that. Now, when I put in the floor over here, I'm going to have to mask some pieces around through here. So that's... Okay, so what are we going to do here? So in your cornerstone, bit of wall. Okay, so that is... that piece of wall up the top. We need 2 pieces up there. There we go. And a cornerstone there. I'm actually going to use one of these little curved pieces. Just like there we go. So now I'll put in some floor. So I think that's actually all the wall we want to do. So we're pretty much, I can lock off the walls folder because I think that's pretty much all that we want for the walls. Let's start knocking over the floor. I've got these really cool looking, I just use one of these. Whoops. Oh, I haven't unlocked my floor. There it is. So we just use one of these to make the floor in this little cupboardy area. And then what I'm going to just put it up there like that. There we go, and put this one here. And then put its friend just below it. Now this is where I need to do a little masking. So let's see if I create mask layer and grab my pencils. There we go. Oops. Now I need to make my pencil a little bit bigger. So let's go to about 20. 30. How have I set my pencil? Oh, it's transparent watercolor. Oh, hang on. So no, I want to go to this. Just pencil. What's my size? I'll set that to 10. Oops. Oh, and I better turn off snap. And go and erase. I'm not really erasing, I'm masking out this area. And I'll go and actually I'll just zoom down the bottom here. Turn that off. Put this back to being, unlock it. Back to being 100%. And then lock it again. Come back up here. Whoops. I need to draw. Yeah, just like that. There we go. So that has masked out that area. Okay, now continue putting in some of the floor. So I'm actually going to use this pattern. So that goes. Oops, helps if I turn my snap back on. There we go. And then we need here to go just below it. Like that. And then we need the corners. That one there. And this one up the top. Top right hand corner. And then we need, where is it? Bottom left hand corner. Just like that. And then top hand corner, which is, scroll up, one of these. There we go. Just like that. So I might actually change out this one, because that's a pretty dark. Let's change it out for one of the light pink squares, like this. Like that. Now, what I will do is I will add in, I'm going to put it between the ground and floor layer. Here we are. Let's see if I can do this. We're just going to fill. So change to our polyline selection tool. So I want to fill in this area. Oops. Oh, it's hang on. Oh, a minute. I want to take off snap. So I'm going to use just like this. There we go. And then if we go, oops, make certain I've got, is this white? Go okay. And then go edit, fill. There we go. Then select, deselect. So that just fills in that little area with white. Because all these lines between the walls, they're actually just white fade. Just to fill it in. Okay, so that is all done. Next thing we need to do is the road coming in, the grass, and this area here. So let us just jump over to, I think I'm using my wilderness map tiles set. So we just scroll to the bottom, wizard, wilderness map tiles. Okay, so we need our rocky road, which I'm pretty certain is the road art assets that I'm using for this little road area. So here we go. Now these are all going into our ground folder. Whoop, turn the snap back on. Now I'm going to have a quick look at, so yes, I only did it 2 squares wide. So there. Just on the other side of this road. so, and another piece. Just like that. Now, we're going to have this, if I can find the piece, here we are. So I want to do this. It's this one. Just like that, and then we need to have road comes in, it sort of becomes all like rocky and dirt through there. And then we have grass through here. So I'll just do the dirt through here. Actually, we could have... Oh no, I haven't done the pieces here. So let's close off the grass for a second. Go back to our floor, because we were going to try something a little bit funky. So we're going to get rid of that and that. So we'll have a platform come around here. So where are... So I need to get back to Map Tiles core folder. Whoops. Go back to my Dungeon Map Tiles 6. Back to the... Whoops, that's the walls. We want the floor. Here we go. Okay, so we're going to use this 1x2. And it's going to come up here. And then we're going to use this 2x1. It will come across here. And then some singles. Just there. Like that. So we're going to need one more. It'll be partially hidden by the wall, which is pretty much what we want. Just like that. Now, that's where I need to get that white layer. So where did we put it? Did we put it in the ground? I got a funny feeling I did. It should actually be... should actually be here. There we go. So it's actually hiding that. Then, if we make some steps, go back to our staircase, and we need to use this corner. Just like that. And then... so it is these steps, just like that. And there we are. We could, and I might, make this connect up. So let's get rid of that one. Grab corner. Put it around there. And then we need steps coming down this side. Just like that. Then we need to put one more step here. Oops. Oops, did it again. Getting ahead of myself. And put it, whoops. Helps if I grab it correctly. Put that there. So now we need to have our dirt come up through here. I'm just going to view this hit screen. So yeah, it's starting to look pretty good as a little entranceway. So we've got to put the dirt through here and the grass in through here. So I'm going to pop back to the wilderness map tiles. Where are they? Yeah, because that's where I've got the grass and the rocky road. So I'll just quickly use the grass. And I'll use the big grass areas. Here we go. Oops. So I've got to lock off the floor. So we don't edit the floor anymore. Unlock the ground. Actually, I'm gonna name this. Where is it? Rename layer. Where is it? Oh, change layer name. There we are. Let's just call this white overlay. There we go. So we know what it is, and we now lock it in place. And where are our ground? Okay, here is our ground. And we're going to need... So we'll drop in the grass. And so we use some of our 2x2. Just like that. And another 2x2. Whoops. Helps if I actually put it into the adventure map. Goes there. And another 2x2. So I have these 2x2 areas to help quickly fill in areas like that. Because normally they're little, each map tile is a 1x1. But sometimes you just, if you've got a large area that it's all going to be grass, it can be good to just quickly fill it in. There we go. And now we need to do this area. Let's go back to 100%. Just sort of scroll like that. And Rocky Road. I could go some Rocky Road. Unfortunately, I don't think when I made the Rocky Road map tiles, I don't believe I actually made any 2x2 or 1x2 areas. So it's just going to be So put that under there. I'll just use it again. But I'll use it over here. There. This is quite a chunky road. Got lots of big bits of stone sticking up. Just like that. It's just a case of filling in this area. So this would be courtyard where there'd be horses, maybe a wagon. This is where patrons who are coming to visit sort of park their stuff. It's done. Almost there. And once this is done, we can just put in some doorways. Well, actually, we've got the doorways in. We just need to put in the door, the doors themselves. And then this adventure map, or this map card, will be completed. Be a fully functional and fully armed map card. And there we are. That's the last piece. There we go. So we zoom out, fit to screen. There we are. So I'll just lock off the ground so I don't edit it anymore. And we'll just put some doors in a few key spots. So where's out? So I'll put those into my features folder. I'll go back up to Dungeon Map Tiles 6. And where are our doors? Simple door. So we want to have one So I want to rotate this. Again, hold down shift. and then put it there. And we want to have another door. Oops. Oops, I did it again. And that's where it should go. And it'll go there. And we need another door just here. So we'll have this one be slightly open. And again, I want to rotate this around. And pop it there. And that's our adventure map. So thank you very much for tuning in and watching. I hope you learned something. If you're on my Patreon, you should be able to download this map later today. Oh, actually, I forgot to put a door here. Can't have a cupboard without a door. Oops. And we want to rotate like that, and then put it right there. Actually, I might just squidge it back a little bit. Yeah, that looks good. So that could be like a cupboard or a guard robe or something. We've got a little guard room where the guards sort of chill out. One thing we could try, I think I've got overlays. Let's have a look here for the walls. Small window. Ooh, let's try this. So a window that's closed. Oops. Keep doing that. Must remember to put it here. Okay, so let's just rotate it and then put it here, but I'm going to nudge it further along and have it there. I think that looks pretty cool. So that could be a window that you could open. So yeah, thank you for watching. Hopefully later today I will upload this so you can download it if you're part of my Patreon. If you're not a part of my Patreon, what are you doing? But thank you for watching. Tune in next time to see me build another map. Thank you very much. Oops. I'm clicking the wrong buttons. See you next time.